Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today, we try to goad things along and see if we can trigger the second stage of Ulbrig's personal quest. We're basically doing what we did last time, which is advancing the clock one day at a time until something happens. Technically we do still have some other things we could do, like the Rhea Neath quest, or hitting the Murky Grotto again. But honestly, I'm a lot more invested in finding out what's going on with Ulbrig. I've already got some speculation based on what we've seen thus far, mostly related to the nature of his god, Eirvar. But we'll see how close I get. Let's do this! Streets are widened, that's plus logistics. Not nearly what we need, but we've also got buildings going up in our second bastion, so that should also juice the numbers a bit. And we'll get our third bastion going now. I think once we get to the fortress upgrade, we should have enough. Let's do one more day. And absolutely nothing. We'll step away from the table for a sec. Okay, nothing. We'll push 2 more days. I mean, technically it's supposed to tell you when someone's waiting at the table for you, but I notice it hasn't been doing that lately. And there's our logistics bump. Yeah, most of our buildings just finished going up. Let's check the armies real quick, make sure we're not missing anything there. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, and we've got an army. A demon army on the Fortress of Yath. Let's bring Agaboya down. Ooh, here we go. The arrival of Canabras reinforcements. Reinforcements from Canabras have arrived in Dresden. Their leader, Ramian, is awaiting an audience with the commander. Not what I was expecting, but certainly welcome. An important inspection. A group of officials from Nerosian is on its way to Dresden. They want to inspect how well the Crusade is organized. What kind of welcome should they receive? Well, let's see. Cold is plus leadership. Lavish is plus finance. Realistic is plus finance and plus diplomacy. So why would we go lavish when this is just objectively better? And likewise, taking them to the front line nets finance and military. Weird that they have an option that's just like hands down worse than 2 of the others. Though to be fair, I think there is an option that lets you turn off those tooltips. So in theory, there are some players who go into it blind, so I guess they wouldn't know. Sela escorted the committee to the front lines, where the pampered bureaucrats were forced to learn of the hardships of military life firsthand. Having gotten caught up in a surprise attack and personally witnessing the demon's brutality, the inspectors swore to supply the army with everything it may need, and to do so diligently. Fantastic! Everyone wins, even those guys, because they didn't die. Hey, here we go. Gather your band, War Chief. We're going back to the ruins of Current Glen. Okay. Why are we doing that? Remember that white wolf we saw in the ruins? Every night I see her in my dreams, standing next to the Stone of Voices. Wait, let me finish. Ulbrig holds up a finger, apparently expecting you to interrupt him. I know you can't trust dreams, that's what I always say. But I'm also no stranger to spirits and their workings. I know the difference between a dream that's sent from above and one that's sent from my belly after a hearty dinner. By the Griffin's wing, I swear that wolf is a friend. One of the guardians of old Sarkorian, just like my Eirvar. And if she is calling me to the stone, then we must go to the stone. Yeah, sure, absolutely. We'll check it out. I don't rightly know what we'll find there, but we'll have to start with the Stone of Voices. It was silent the last time, but this time it'll be a different story. I can feel it in my gut. What good fortune, Commander? The golden-curled Aasimar greets you with an elegant bow. I knew that fate would bring us together again, and the timing could not have been better. You see, after the untimely death of old Halloran, may his soul find its well-deserved rest, the Queen named me the new prelate of Canabris, and she recently tasked me with bringing reinforcements to Dresden, a complement of excellent fighters who are ready to do their fair share to rid the world of demons. I've also brought the Wardstone with me. I think the best place for it now is in your hands. I'm sorry, you brought the Wardstone from Canabris? Here? You're a living legend, the hope of all humanity. You obliterate demons, win back long-lost territories. You're sure to close the world wound any day now. Where else should the Wardstone be, if not in your hands? All right, well, I mean, you make some good points there. I guess I can't really argue with that. Galfrey knows you did this, right? Naturally. It was her idea, in fact. You really think I'd decide to remove a precious relic from the city on my own say-so? Ramian smiles, raising an eyebrow. You really don't want me to answer that? How'd you even bring it here? That thing's like 3 stories tall. The prelate smiles. What miracles the gods do work for those who are true to them. Queen Galfrey, may her reign continue for centuries hence, shared with us a prayer that Iomede's herald himself used when building the barrier. The prayer makes the stone as weightless as a cloud. It rose into the air and floated along behind us. Our march from Canabris to Dresden became a rather merry procession. We played music and sang the herald's prayer day and night. This benighted land has not seen such gaiety in many a year. Oh, right, speaking of which, the herald's right out in the courtyard if you want to chat him up at some point. Just saying. So how are things back in Canabris anyway? You're sure they're going to be okay without this thing? Quite uncheerful, I'm afraid. Rebuilding work is happening apace, but most of the city still lies in ruins. Only a handful of the population have remained in the city. It has turned from a thriving hub into a military garrison. But I still hold out hope that one day, that unfortunate city will finally enjoy the peaceful life it has so long deserved. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. So I take it you're headed back now? Not a chance. Canabris is insufferably dull these days. Noisy and dusty building work, marching soldiers, light-fingered suppliers. No. I shall remain here where history is being made. Where dreams of freedom from the demon's yoke are at last coming true. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I have no objections, though it does seem like an odd approach to being the newly appointed prelate of Canabris. I guess I'll see you around then. As, you know, I run the city I am responsible for running. Man, it feels really weird to be the responsible guy in this conversation. I understand you're busy. Find me if you'd like to speak again. I'll be around. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. You know, I am definitely seeing why he and Darren had a thing. All right, back to current Glen. I am very eager to see what comes next. Come on, Albrig, you can sleep when you're dead. Again. Okay, 18 hours out. That'll advance the clock a day. Also, we will kill these guys. Always nice to get a quick warm-up. Hey guys. That's kind of a cute lineup.
Cover me, all right?
Retreat is not an option.
Hang in there, helpful. Ah, so we do have to reactivate. That's annoying. And we're good. Not much in the way of loot, but that's about 1,000 gold. Let's clear those armies. Get out of here. And a well-deserved level up. Ooh. That's actually an interesting choice, because obviously recovering energy faster would be nice, but we will eventually have some pretty nice divine spells. In fact, I think the best attack spell is divine. Not to mention that would boost our healing spells as well. Yeah, let's go divine. Oh, and Ramian brought reinforcements. Most of which are unit types we don't use, so that's fun. Anyway, back to current events. Though we are fatigued, so we'll rest just inside. Alright, let's find a good place to put down camp. Is every place too narrow? Someone's coming! Run! Oh, listed as a marauder. Also, would you look at this? Wildlife has flocked to the village. Cleansing the tree of corruption was worth it, so it seems. Oh yeah, the tree. Hey, look at that. We've actually got some loot that, I guess, grew out of the ground. You know, as happens. Cat's Boots. +4 enhancement to Dex. The wearer's movement doesn't provoke. If worn with the Owl's Cowl, the enhancement bonus increases to +6. And the wearer gains +5 on initiative. Wow. I mean, obviously we don't have the cowl, but even without it, that's still pretty useful. Having a stat boosting item that doesn't go in the head or belt slot opens the door to a lot of other gear combos. The problem being that pretty much everyone's got dex belts at this point, so I'll have to rearrange our loadouts a bit so we can actually make proper use of that. Anyway, we need to rest before I forget. And then we'll pause for buffing right after that, and I'll also figure out what to do with those boots. Oop. Let's reset our camp roster. Good enough. And let's pick out something fancy to eat. We're running a little low on certain ingredients, so I'd like to vary it a bit. And just like last time, I have no real idea what we're up against here. But I'm going to assume the combat challenges will be a bit more level appropriate. We'll go for the damage buff.
Today is the birthday of the person who brought all of us together. It's a happy day. And a sad one. So many people have died, but we're all still alive. That's worth celebrating.
Oh, Ember. That's sweet. Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back. Locked, loaded, and fully buffed. The cat's boots are currently on Ember. Let's track down those marauders. Trap. That makes sense.
Fine.
Oh, okay. We've got redundant traps.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Okay, guys, now it's just getting silly. Come on.
Pretty good, aren't I? This is my kind of work.
Those guys must be really paranoid about people hunting them down. Careful. Yeah, there they are. Around the bloody sacrificial altar. Oh. And one more trap for the road, of course. Waljeff? Crap. The thieves stare at you fearfully, weighed down by their loot. Why did you chase us? I don't know. Why'd you run? Have you seen your own ugly mug? I mean, these are troubled times, and you've got to keep an eye out. You're going to pay for that. Who are you? No one. No one at all. Just passing by. Right, yeah, I'll bet. Well, you know, I'm also just passing by. Didn't even realize you were here. Gathered around this clearly evil altar with all these sacrificed victims. Which I'm sure is just a coincidence. Well then, this is where we part ways. Off you go. Treasure hunting cutthroat. Hey, that's not what we agreed on. That's not yours. So keep your hands to yourself. Did we? Did we agree on anything? I don't remember doing that. Treasure hunting minstrel. Don't mind me. Just stretching my legs. Enjoying the scenery. Not every day you see an ancient Sarkorian sacrificial chamber. I mean, this place is practically dripping with history.
This is my kind of work.
Oh, what's this? Here on the floor. Oh no! What a tragic misunderstanding. I guess I'll have to kill you now. Darn. In all seriousness, though, these guys are pretty blatantly murderers and thieves, so I feel like we're pretty well in our right to take them out.
Retreat is not an option.
Hi. How'd that work out for you? Not great? Yeah, that'll happen.
They'd better start running.
There we go. Easy. Yeah, see, we could have just intimidated these guys into leaving their loot and walking away, but the way I figured it, that would just put a bunch of murderers and thieves right back into circulation. And we'd get less loot. Ring of the Mad Duelist. This jagged steel ring was made of an armor shard, picked up on the battlefield and crudely bent into the shape of a circle. Its wearer can, at will, choose any foe they see. The wearer gets a +2 bonus to their AC and savings throws against all attacks made by the chosen enemy, until the wearer chooses another one. Interesting. I mean, I could see how that would be useful, but it also sounds like it would require constant micromanagement, which is not my idea of a good time. Maximize rod. That is a good find. That's something we can actually use. Though not until we rest. We have to recharge it first. Not bad. A decent pile of loot. I wonder if those guys would have still been here if we hadn't cleared the shadows out. Maybe they'd still be here, but they'd all be undead. That would be a fun twist. In fact, let's peek in on the Shadow Cave. They've obviously revised a number of other things here. Might as well be thorough. How about the back room? Okay, no, looks clear. Sorry, figured it was worth a shot. Let's go check the Stone of Voices. See if we get signal. My guess is someone will actually respond this time, and we'll get coordinates to a new location.
Don't even try not answering me. If you fail me, you tricksy lump of rock, I swear on Pelura's backside, I'll crush you into rubble with my bare hands.
Ulbrich glowers at the stone, as if at his sworn enemy. You tell it, Ulbrich. I've got your back. Ready to rock whenever you are.
Hear that? Show me up a second time, and there won't be a third.
Ulbrich eyes the stone threateningly. So, what are we trying to accomplish here exactly?
I don't know. Anything but silence will do.
Okay then. Go for it.
Right. Don't let me down.
Ulbrich carefully presses his broad palm against the stone surface. Oh my. This time, the stone responds instantly, and not with a faint shimmer like the last time, but with a blinding light. You can make out a winged figure in the radiant glow.
Yes! I knew it! I knew it!
Ulbrich's deep laughter turns into a war cry. Looks like you got your answer, buddy.
Not in words, but words are not needed here.
And that thing that appeared, that was Ervar?
It was a manifestation of my god. The first I've seen since I woke up in this mad world of yours. My god is alive, don't you see? And that means part of Sarkorian still lives as well.
Where do you think that portal leads?
I have no idea, but I'll find out very soon. Well, are you coming with me?
Yeah, of course. Not that I apparently have a choice. Let's go.
Let's go, you say. Let's run, say I. Let's fly.
And I sure hope this pans out, but I have my doubts. Loading screen makes it look like the place is actually in pretty good condition. But then again, Winter Sun seemed like it was in good shape when we first got there, too. Actually, I guess it didn't, because the first thing we saw when we got there were a bunch of dead Crusaders. And the first thing we're seeing here is a crumbling ruin. I can't believe my eyes! It's like I'm back in Sarkorian! Also, I said some other things, but the camera panned away too quickly. Let's go down there, War Chief. I want to make sure I'm not seeing things.
See? I'm indispensable.
An ancient Sarkorian hymn praising the spirits of nature has been carved into the stone. A depiction of the World Tree can be seen on the mossy stone. This is how the Sarkorians imagined the universe to be. Oh. Ooh, plagued horse. The first real sign that something here isn't right. War Chief, there's something not right about that there horse. The damn thing might be plagued. A scene from the myth of the Great Hunt has been carved into the ancient stone. At the center is a depiction of the divine wolf, which is probably the spirit wolf we saw back in Current Glen. I also can't help but notice that they are deliberately channeling us in a circuitous route before we can actually enter the village, so everything we're seeing right now they wanted us to see before we went in. We'll avoid the horse for now. For all we know, these guys might use necromancy to create beasts of burden or something. In which case, oh, nope, okay, something is definitely wrong. Help! They're going to eat me! And there's our swarms. Thin boga swarms. And devoured citizens, devoured guards. Like the horse we just passed. Interesting.
Kneel before me.
Okay. The swarms wear their victims. They eat people from the inside out. So not Vescivores, but something very conceptually similar. These things seem pretty damage resistant. Ember's going to have to do the heavy lifting for us.
Cover me, all right?
We've also got those Swarmbane clasps, but only Ulbrig is wearing one. Yeah, those alchemist fires are not doing jack, but thanks, good effort. Thus far, we're only really getting results from the Pet Pals and Darren's Holy Crossbow. Plus, of course, Ulbrig and Ember. go. You know, what I might need to do is
This will be the stuff of legend.
temporarily slap those Swarmbane clasps on Vex and Regil. Though I imagine we'll be finding more of those clasps moving forward.
This one's mine.
Regil's actually not doing that bad. I think his gnomish hooked hammer does law damage. Nice. Ember, thank you. Let's speed this up. We've still got one more over there.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
They don't know how fragile they are.
Out of my sight!
Finally. I told you, no mages! The young woman shakes a lock of dark hair out of her face and casts a look of frustration at the big man in worn Numerian armor. She is breathing heavily after the battle. Come now, you saw. The warrior wipes the sweat from his brow with his broad hand and shakes his head. There is no irritation in his calm voice, only weariness. I received reports about the hunger that moves at the south gate. I had no time to stop and think. Well, make sure you do next time. Ugh, the stench of sorcery. She makes a show of wafting away the air in front of her face. I can hardly hear Serena through it. The goddess is displeased. Serena? Well, I'm sorry, you saw. Next time before I ride off, I'll have a good old think first, and I'll just let the demons run amok in Gundren. The big man shrugs. And forgive me for stinking. Come the next bathing day, I'll make sure to scrub my armor. Her expression turns pained, and she raises her narrow hands sharply in the air. Enough. Talking to you is impossible. You're behaving like a barbarian, and in front of our visitors, too. Her amber eyes lose some of their frostiness as she surveys your party. I'm sorry you had to witness that. Someone may have forgotten how to act like a chieftain, but I still remember the laws of hospitality. Welcome to Gundren, travelers. Serena promised to lead you here, and here you are. The warrior casts an appraising glance at you. So, you're them then. The Outlanders from those hazy prophecies. If you come in peace, then you are well met. And welcome home. She smiles at Ulbrich. So wait, you two were expecting us? She was expecting him. The man in the Numerian armor casts a sidelong look at his companion. We both were. She glares back at the warrior, but a smile quickly returns to her face. The great Serena caught the scent of one of your party during the heavenly hunt. Many nights passed. It was you. Her gaze fixes on Ulbrich. The moment you awoke, Serena knew. Oh, the spirit of old Sarkorian is strong in you. I can sense it now, too. Well done, you saw. You lasted a whole 2 minutes before bringing up old Sarkorian again. He speaks softly and to no one in particular, almost muttering to himself. She casts a murderous look at the warrior, but says nothing. So, who are you two supposed to be exactly? I mean, that guy's in Numerian armor. The woman proudly steps forward, partially blocking the warrior. I am Ysena, the shaman of this tribe, guardian of our traditions, spiritual mother, and conduit of the will of the last goddess of Sarkorian. The man politely ducks his head. And I'm Sigvorn, the chieftain of this place. More like a headman. Sarkorian chieftains don't rub elbows with mages, and they don't wear Numerian metal on their chest. The shaman points a delicate finger at Sigvorn's armor. For the first time, a shadow of irritation passes over the man's face. No, I am chieftain, you saw. I've been protecting this town with a weapon in my hand for going on 10 years already. And I'm going to keep doing it even if you think everything I do, every breath I take, even the way I scratch my ass, is wrong. Even if your ancestors spit on me from the skies above, I'm going to keep doing it. She exhales heavily. We are the leaders of this town. These are the last inhabited lands of old Sarkorian, and we take pains to preserve our heritage. It's painful, all right, like preserving a boot that's lost its pair, Sigvorn mutters. And what about you, strangers? Aren't you going to introduce yourselves? Oh, right, of course. Vex Gottlieb, god among men, warrior without peer, knight commander of the 5th Crusade. This is Kaz. Really? If I'd known, I would have put on my dress armor. Oh, wait, I don't have any. Right. You mentioned Serena? Who's that? Where's she? Oh, you know her. Trust me. She smiles cryptically. Serena is one of the most remarkable beings you have ever met in your life. But we'll have time to talk about her later. Not here, and not now. It's the ghost wolf, right? The spirit wolf? Yeah, that tracks. Though, much like Ervar, I don't think that's a pre-existing deity. Which is intriguing. Hey, where are we anyway? She sweeps her arms out wide in a fluid gesture, setting her bracelets jingling melodically. This is Gundren, the last stronghold of old Sarkorian, the land that will resurrect our great homeland's former glory. The warrior continues, echoing her passionate tone. A patch of barren land on the very edge of the world wound. A little town of refugees, and worth as much as a beggar's spittle on a country road. His voice becomes serious. And our home, which we will fight for till the last drop of blood is spilled. Noted, and I certainly respect that. I thought old Sarkorian collapsed, though. How'd you guys survive? Gundren's origins are linked to the fall of old Sarkorian. It's a story of the sorrowful days when the caravans of refugees, dreaming of salvation, reached out to Ustalav. Back then, our ancestors didn't know that our neighbors were, how should I put it, none too honorable. Our people were looking for a place to sleep and a piece of bread, but they were met with a wall of pikes. The Ustalovs didn't want to let the refugees in, so our people were forced to turn back. And Gundren, a small fishing village on the border, became the refuge of those poor souls. A good 100 years had passed since then, and to this day we're none too fond of Ustalovs, to put it mildly. Of course, I'm not one of those who claim that every person in Ustalov is a rotten scoundrel. No, that's nonsense. It's every second person. She nods, and this is the first time you have seen these two agree on anything so far. Just out of morbid curiosity, what do you know about the fall of Sarkorian? Oh, it happened a long time ago. 100 years have passed since the demon hordes destroyed our shining land. Not a day goes by that I do not grieve for it. My heart's wound still bleeds. I imbibe the pain with my mother's milk. Couldn't you have imbibed something useful? Like which mushrooms are safe to eat, or when's the best time of year to plant turnips? Sigborn's murmured commentary trickles into the conversation. And this man has the blood of Sarkorian chieftains flowing through his veins. You shouldn't have spent so long roaming as a sellsword, Sigborn. The ways of those ungodly Numerians are set too deeply in your mind. Yasena casts a withering look at Sigborn. Well, this is awkward. We were talking about the fall of Sarkorian? Right, Sarkorian. Sarkorian should have endured for thousands of years, but it fell in a single night. It must have been the will of the gods. Sarkorian fell in a single night because it had turned a blind eye to the cult of Discari for too long, and the will of the gods had nothing to do with it. It was the will of Arilu Vorlesh. Her face twists with resentment. That name, I don't want to hear it. May it sink into oblivion. After that one, how could anyone trust a mage? At the right time and in skilled hands, any tool can be useful. He shrugs, as if the argument is now settled. So not that this isn't a fascinating conversation, but, what the hell did we just walk into here? We don't really know ourselves. We call those creatures the hunger that moves. Small demons stuff themselves in the skin of a dead man, and off they go. Disgusting. They don't always come so close to the town. We haven't had cause to look into them before now. She sounds genuinely alarmed. Okay, well, you mind if I have a look around? I mean, it's not that I don't trust you. I'm sure this place is fine. I've just had some experiences out here. The warrior perks up, stretching and flexing his muscles. You're right. We've done enough talking. We can't hang around all day, can we? Yasa, do me a favor and show our guests around. I've got a trade council soon. Sigborn offers a nod of farewell and strides off, his troop following behind him. I see you can't wait to get a look at our town, but give me just a few more minutes. There's something you must know without delay. You've appeared on our doorstep at a difficult time. An unknown sickness has swept through our town in recent days, and Sigborn has quarantined Gundren's right bank. I wanted to heal the sickness using the power of the Great Serena, but Sigborn won't even let me near the afflicted. He sent off for a healer from Numeria, and now he's just waiting for them to arrive. But will the sick last that long? If only someone could convince that bull-headed man to let me help. But it's not just that. There's no way to reach the other bank now. I trust you will find a solution. I'll see you later at Wolf's Home. Our conversation is still to come. Okay, bye, I guess. Thanks for the tour. Slightly awkward conversation. I feel like it could have stood an extra pass through editing, but that's fine. We got the gist. I like the dynamic they set up. Yasena and Sigborn obviously representing a desire to retain old Sarkorian culture versus evolving into something new. We also got a potential name for the spirit wolf, Serena, and a very brief glimpse of Ervar, the heavenly griffin, though I am starting to wonder if they're setting us up for a fake out there. You know, much in the same way they did with Winter Sun and the Lady of the Sun. Because there's been a couple of conversations now about old Sarkorians worshipping Discari, and Ulbrich kept referring to him as an actual straight-up god, like the god of locusts, the god of weevils. He really resisted the idea that Discari was a demon, or that it was weird that Sarkorians would worship him. You know, he straight up portrayed Eredin as the aggressor of that situation. And then, of course, there's the big question of where this hunger that moves fits into everything. We've already got 2 Demon Lords of Swarms. It's weird that they would theoretically introduce a 3rd. I am fascinated, though. I mean, the fact that I'm mulling on exactly what's going on so much is a good sign that it is an intriguing story, even if it is being a little awkwardly presented. I'm definitely a lot more invested in this than I think I was in any of the other DLC thus far. But that said, we're obviously past time and right on the cusp of getting at least some answers. We've got an entire village to explore, several characters to talk to, a couple of whom have custom art, which is always nice. So yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of our current situation, make sure we're ready to proceed, and get that Swarmbane clasp on someone, probably Vex. And we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, EreV23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Hear that? Show me up a second time, and there won't be a third.